up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, club swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. We got Albert and House. Good morning. We got Anna, Bill, Brian, Cheryl, Cindy, Jay. Good morning to Kevin, Lucian, Martina, Mike is Peter. We got Rick and House. Good morning to you, Vendrin. Good morning to you, Wendy. Uh, W Phone. That's probably your birth name. I'm pretty positive. Good morning to you as well. But yeah, crazy day. All my peeps out in YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate you guys joining us each and every day. Wild earnings. A couple like head scratching earnings. Like I don't know. Some I was sitting there watching all these earnings come in, which we had a lot of companies reporting yesterday. We had a bunch more today, but really the story is more or less yesterday. Microsoft was the first one out. Not the first one, but the first big one out. And I thought the earnings, they were saying it was a beat, but then if you break down the earnings, like every individual category was almost like a miss. So I'm like, how do you beat if everything's a kind of a miss? And the stock was tanking, the SPY was collapsing, Amazon I saw was kind of coming down with Microsoft, everything with Nvidia was pushing down lower. And then we get through like Starbucks. Starbucks was rallying. That looked like a miss. Pins came in. They were down a whole bunch. Their earnings actually kind of looked decent. And I was like, huh, why are they dropping? And now we're just waiting, just waiting. AMD taking its time. And AMD comes in, strong earnings. Everything was kind of a beat. So the earnings really did look good on AMD. And we got some kind of rally and at least put the bubble back in place where it should be. So the bubble kind of back, we'll see, but now you have everything kind of reversing. Microsoft with a pretty strong reversal, although it's kind of just chilling, but not not bad. Not bad for AMD to come in with those numbers. That's the numbers the market needed. We talked about AMD extensively. We'll get to that one too. Let's go over the market first. So we got SPY with a little bit of a gap and go for sure. One thing to watch out for is we are right into that 20. We are slightly above it, so that's decent. But we're also at the higher end of this candle from Wednesday, last Wednesday. So a week ago today, we're back at that opening price, meaning that the rest of those 4 scary days, just hanging out, nothing crazy, nothing like it didn't happen. Just don't even worry about it. So this is going to be a little interesting spot to see if we can break through, but all of that volume that came in here, we added some more on the next day. Anybody that was going short yesterday, which it just looked like we're slow melting for most of the day, trapped at open. So I think we could go a little bit higher. The next, so again, we're still above the 20. Maybe we get a small little pullback. We're still inside day technically of that Wednesday candle. Maybe we get a high wave on the SPY, some little pullback. Otherwise, I think we go bullish from here. I think we have a little bit more risk on type market. Some of the defensive plays, I think healthcare is getting a little beat up today. But some of the defensive names that were rallying, they probably pull back. They'll use that for kind of a little pullback today. And then see if we can get the kind of inflow of cash back into some of the tech names. And I think that's kind of how the market rotates, at least for today. But first little resistance on the SPY, 549.76. If we can break that, we still have a decent amount of room to go. And that would take us up to about 552.87. And then we still have untested VPOCs from 554.59, 555. Not saying that we're completely bullish long term yet. I think it's too soon to call that if this is more of a major pullback or not. But the market has dipped a decent amount. If the bull's gonna try, the market has pulled back a decent amount from I don't know where this was for. I mean 565. We'll say I have to switch my tool over, but I just switched it all the way down to like 537, 536, somewhere in that zone. That's a big pullback. Wave count wise, we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4. This could have been a 5. We don't really see the ABC, but decent. I think this is a decent try for the SPY. So if they're going to rally, and the reason I can't say that we're definitely getting back to here yet, we still have this big, long trend line that we were kind of staying above. We're still below it, so we got to get back into it. We got to probably break through it, retest, and then I think we get to go if we're going to do one of those. But too soon to tell. We also got Jerome Powell coming out today. We got FOMC decision on rate cuts. We'll see if they want to cut the rates. I don't know. I don't. Market's not really expecting it, but there is a slight chance. Slight chance. We had JOLTS numbers come out yesterday. It doesn't really after those jolts, it doesn't really give me a reason to really push Jerome Powell for those rate cuts. So I don't think we have any change. But then he does come out and he talks at 2:30, and that could either help the market or kill it. We don't know yet. I think he says a lot of the same stuff he says. I don't think he has to throw in any new real comments. But that's gonna punt us into do we get a rate cut in August? Is that a little bit more likely, or are we still looking for September? And kind of the phrasing of what he uses is what we're going to use for some kind of indication as to what he's trying to signal to the market. But we'll see. For now, though, everything's good. It's up to Jerome. I would say most of the expectation, Peter, is probably September rate cut. That's what I'm thinking. Uh, Lucius says, nice play on your NVIDIA calls. Yeah, I had the NVIDIA calls. I also did get pretty much bottom tick the AMD price from yesterday. So they were good. I also did pick up some Tesla because Tesla, as we were in that room yesterday, it was like toward the end, we're getting off. We're looking at some of these price points as the market was just collapsing. And we had prices on all three. We're like, if it gets to those prices, for me, it was the 204 on NVIDIA. So we got that. We got AMD, whatever the bottom was, what was it, 136 or something. And then Tesla did come down to, I think it was 220. I was buying it off of, yeah, 220. So all those supports, which is just kind of funny how it works, and then you get some news or something to rally it, but they didn't really break those levels and they all kind of rallied back. So this morning I got to do some probably maneuvering. I don't know what I want to do. I might still hold something. I don't know yet. We'll see. We'll go through those. But we got the Qs. Nice little gap up on the Qs. Really good level if we could hold again. Still got 21 more minutes till those bell rings. Otherwise, that's a really good location. Minus the fact we still have to get above the 50 EMA. We still got the 20 EMA NOA. But if we get even into that 20, and then I got my next resistance probably about 476. Again, maybe Jerome pulls us over some more deeper resistance on some of these names. We'll see. But man, if they start double layering good news in the market, that could get a little fun. Take off some of those short-term fears that we were all just kind of experiencing. Otherwise, really good gap and go. Yeah, I'd be looking to stay probably bullish. Maybe we get a little pullback. I don't really think on the Qs I really want any pullback. If we do, I kind of want to see like us hold 467.38, so 40 cents, 40-cent pullback, something like that. Nothing crazy. But we will see. IWM. This probably IWM is going to react a little bit more from Jerome Powell than it will AMD, but for right now, you do have that same kind of gap and go. This one's just more inside candle. We still have resistance 224.49. Watch that spot. If we start to break that, I think we probably have the ability at least to push to new 52-week highs on that one. Has not really fell, so we'll see. All right, let me see what tickers you guys got this morning. So, yep, Peter's got AMD, since that was kind of the one that saved us. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Nice gap. Definitely taking out a whole bunch of shorts. Yesterday's candle, I don't mind. I mean, there is obviously decent volume yesterday, but I think that's still from the earnings. Not sure how much that was really in the bearish direction or not. So I'm going to exclude that. But then this candle right here has decent volume on it. That one we're taking out. So any shorts from there we're taking out. And then we have this big monstrosity of a candle right up into here. And that VPOC is sitting somewhere at 162.96. So that gives us plenty of room to the higher side. Where I would start before we get to that, though, that we'd have to have a really extremely good day, I think, to get there today. Could happen. I think we got a lot in the way for that. So the first step, we got that 200 EMA. That's going to sit at 151.89. The next step from there, and I think this is going to be a very strong resistance for today. If we could get through that 200, would probably take us to about this 154.91. So we're starting to get a little closer to the resistance, but we are trapping a lot of people. I don't know how many people saw Jeremy's video too. Jeremy was kind of putting out his not pre-market, but his pre-earnings kind of plays on AMD. I think he talked about Nvidia, maybe another stock or two, I forget. But I was pretty much in agreement with him. Obviously, it's been tough to make a video before the facts of the earnings come out, but so far pretty spot on. He was looking for like a 141, maybe a 150, somewhere that where he's thinking gap up. Makes tons of sense. We were talking about that gap up yesterday as well, where the bar is really, really low on AMD. You pull back about 30% in 2 weeks. Yeah, okay. This probably going to be, if you get anything good, as long as it's not a complete disaster of earnings, you would expect that you could get a little bit of a gap, take the foot off the bare gas pedal a little bit, and get some kind of rallying. You're going to trap some shorts. I would assume on AMD we do get bid up at open. Um, Probably could get through that 200. I think we can make it through that 200 just with the amount of bears we're trapping. And then that would put me somewhere at this, whatever we said, 150, was it 154? 154.70 zone. I think we can get there today. Not going to be the easiest task, but I think with the amount of shorts that we are taking out, I think that would be a decent strong resistance on that. We might even got there pre-market. Let me see. See if we got there pre-market, that might change it because we already hit it. But let's see. What was the high? We got into this 152, 153. We definitely got our VPOC up today. We're still riding above it. We just kind of came down, retested that now. I think we could do it. Yeah, I think we get back to that 154 zone. We'll see. But look for some kind of resistance there. Let me see if there's any other key volume. We'll start with the 4-hour chart. If there's anything that we're really running into. Volume starts coming in. Yep, somewhere around this 154. If we can start breaking through that, we might even see a 160 print, but I think we need time on that one. So, but his play, he thought it was going to gap, maybe not so big. And this is a decent sized gap, but we ran kind of toward the end of the day into this too. So decent looking gap still on AMD. I think we could go a little bit further, but then yeah, probably some kind of retest as we have on the daily, just that big double top we have to still be cautious of. And then I think huge, absolutely insane targets. If we could get there, 165.34. Again, probably not today, but in a longer term picture, if you really want to try to play some downside, or if you have some AMD, you want some protection, and you can get that 165 print, that's probably where I would throw my entries for that. But yeah, I'm still bullish AMD. I think we have a little bit of resistance and headwinds above us. Wouldn't mind trying to play it long, especially if we start dipping for today. Boeing, their earnings absolute disaster. Um, Here's one that didn't have to do anything. But you got you beat earnings per share by 52%. I mean, missed by 52%. You also, if that was a green number, that'd be incredible, but no. You also missed revenue by 483 million, so missed by 2.79%. Horrific numbers, but they're being saved. They have a new CEO, so a little wild card we didn't see coming today, but they do have a new CEO, and maybe that's good for Boeing. At least it's something for Boeing. Gotta give them a snack sometime. So I guess watch Boeing though going forward from here. We do have the 200. That's going to be probably some kind of resistance today. 192.07. But But if we start getting a little bit higher or this momentum continues, I like the fact that there's really no interest. And we even said yesterday probably 201, 202. Let's see where this pre-market got to. Probably didn't quite get up there. 194. But I mean, we have a new CEO. That would be a start for Boeing. And then again, it's a start. There's still a lot of work to go, but if you're looking for some kind of news, something to grasp onto as to why Boeing can start to turn the ship or fly a plane, no pun intended, but kind of it was. Uh, you got to start somewhere, so change the captain up. Um, but that might get some continue run. I think bigger level on this one. Watch for like 190.83. So if that one starts breaking, then I think we're probably looking closer to this 201 zone. Otherwise, it was technically a bullish day yesterday. Still inside from this little pivot. We sold here a bunch of times. I would see if this one actually could probably. I don't know if it's enough room to play a fade, but if it gets down to 187.17, it might be worth a shot to try to go long. MSFT. So again, their earnings I thought were good. I mean, in terms of what they're telling me they beat everywhere. But if you start breaking down those earnings, uh, I'm like, how? How did you get there? I haven't figured it out yet. We're kind of weak on most categories, I think, if not. I don't know. I don't know, but they beat. Somehow they beat. I think they were using the non-gap. I think they were using the gap numbers to come in with this beat. Because I think if you look at the non-gap numbers, I don't think it was a beat, but I'm gonna go use the data they give me. So you're still down on Microsoft, still a little bit to the weak side. Obviously, everything in tech is rallying. Maybe not everything, but they got down, I think, past $400 yesterday. Let me see where the lows were. Yeah, they dipped off pretty hard. Uh, somewhere around 389, so like $11 past that 400 mark. So they were down a lot. This is a good recovery. Again, a little bit coming from the AMD side of things. Our VPOC today is still a little bit lower. Watch for, and you even on this 15-minute chart, you got a 200. You also got really good volume. So watch for 221 if it gets up there. I don't know if I would play it yet. Let's see if I can go a little bit higher. But see if we get to like this 420 and change, 421 maybe. Uh, if we can get above that slightly and then we get some kind of reversal candle, I think probably playing this one to the downside. We're still below, regardless of how they want to try to shift those numbers. Yeah, I don't know how they got those. I guess maybe Bill Gates owns the accounting firm. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But you do have a pretty strong, decent double bottom. Bulls tried to come in there. Bulls tried to come into that wick. They're all trapped. I would say we get a little bit of a fade. That 420 and change, 421 zone would be a decent spot, I think, to short. Even to have targets down to like 412 for today. So I think we get I don't know if we hit this one. This is 406. We got past all of that, huh? Where did we come into? This was looking rough. We got into this peak. I don't know. I might sit out on Microsoft today. I don't know. I kind of like it to the bear side, but then we're gonna have the bulls just rallying. Here's where I think it might be worth to try to look. Maybe I'd open if we get that rally and we want to short a 421. That's probably at least the spot I would try. But then if everything else tech wise is starting to rally, Microsoft's it's gonna be tough to bring that one down. But if we're at 421 ish by the time Jerome Powell gets to the mic and then he's gonna throw a haymaker into the market, then I think okay, there would be my shot. I think so. I think probably waiting later in the day for a short, but maybe a sympathy to Jerome Powell ruining everything for us, ruining the party. And then by the end of today, they're like, who invited Jerome Powell to this party? Ruining my day. Pins. Pins was actually, I think, down even more than this. Let me see. Yeah, they were down a lot. Did we get under $30? Yeah, we did. Hold on. Did I have a trade set up there at one point in time? Let me where's Where's those green lines? Oh, they came in right into my entry spot. I didn't have any trade out there, but would have nailed that one. Yeah, I'd already be out if I hit that. That's crazy. That's wild. Again, just throw some random lines on your chart and eventually things happen and then you just feel good about yourself. But then you feel worse because then you actually didn't put money on it. Dang it. This should be a retest gap. We already kind of faded a lot on this one. Let me go back to that 15-minute chart. So yeah, we were down underneath $30 at some point. We were down to like $29, 29.06-ish. I do think this one let me see where the 618 is. This is a retest gap for sure from yesterday. We are at a little support. So my first thought is we could probably go bullish and play this fade. Let's see. But I don't know with everything just kind of reversing. You're still at the 618. I don't know. I might still think this one could come down lower. If this thing starts to break out of 35.46, then I'd be very cautious. I'd be waiting until about 37.29. I don't think I want to play this one to the higher side. But again, this is numbers that beat. Maybe guidance or forecast was weak. I'm not really sure why. I still can't figure out why Pins was just getting absolutely murdered on beats on both sides. Like it wasn't even like a murder. It was like they just took a pillowcase, filled it with nickels, and just beat Pins over the head for about a good 15, 20 minutes after the market for no reason. I don't know. Someone forgot to pin it, I guess. I'm not sure. But this is a fade. My problem with fading this one is we've come back so far pre-market already, even after hours, that I think this one probably still comes a little bit lower, and it's just about picking the right spot. Targets on this one probably take me to about 33.71 to the low side. Otherwise, maybe even back to this like 32.90 zone. So it's got some room to the downside on this one. But that is technically a retest gap. There was some selling. I just don't know how confident I am playing this one bullish. We'll see. Um, let's see. We got Apple. Corey, did you take some of those plays we talked about yesterday? Were you in those too? Got Apple, AAPL. Tesla's getting a little pop. AMD is still getting a little pop pre-market. 5 more minutes to the bell. Uh, Java says ASML is moving the market. We'll take a look at that one as well. We got Apple, nice little gap up. We got plenty of room on this one. We did try this one bullish yesterday. Now it would have hit targets. We could have held that one overnight too, I guess. Moral of the story, just hold everything. Don't sell anything. No stops. But yeah, Apple was a little trickster yesterday. We are into the 20 EMA, so let's see if we get a little pullback first. First spot right here where we're at now, 220.99. If we start breaking that, probably bullish play. This is the room we were looking at yesterday, 224. So Apple has some room on it, but again, it's either we hang on to this level right here, 220.99, or we come down to 219.87, which would be a really good spot yesterday as well. Didn't want to give up any gains on boredom yesterday. Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, Apple, I'm okay trying that one again. All right, I want to see what Java's talking about. What is Java talking about? ASML. Uh yeah, I don't know if I think it's because they already reported back here. I would think they're a little sympathy. I would think Nvidia, SMCI, which we haven't looked at yet. I would think Tesla's actually getting a real rando pop right now. But anything chip related, because I think the fear, the narrative that, and I think it's AMD that really kind of changed things around. I would check out ARM. ARM might be a good one too. But I think the narrative going into the AMD earnings, I don't think people, especially with the kind of last couple of reactions to AMD, I think the narrative was that chips are probably a little over bloated. That people, yeah, it's a little late to get into the game. They're not going to keep up the same pace. And now you have a company like AMD whose earnings weren't ever really bad. It was just not really up to the same level as everything else. Finally coming in and hitting some home runs on some of those earnings. So now they go, well, if the weaker company was able to do it, maybe the bigger companies, maybe the chip story is not over. And I think more importantly than anything else, the narrative just switched a little bit until Jerome Powell comes out and switches the whole thing up and then changes it. And then by tomorrow, we're like, it's inflated again. It's too much. But for right now, yeah. Um, this is a I think a different day than we have from yesterday. So watch resistance on this one. You got 931.48, so be careful there. And then you start getting into some of those moving averages, 947.10, but it is up a decent amount as well. So good push on that one. Real virtual demand in the house. Coinbase was also jumping. I almost took out some calls on Coinbase yesterday too. I was even texting my buddy who was texting me. He's like, "Hey man, are you playing Nvidia off that 100?" I was like, "Yeah, I kind of have to. I kind of have to. It's not my fault, but it's part of my rules. I have to play that one." He's like, "Oh, good luck." I was like, "Yeah, I'm also in AMD bullish. I got calls on that. I got Tesla calls. I might be getting coin. I just went full bull yesterday after I was off the mic after we were discussing some of those support lines. I'm like, I don't believe this bear. I don't believe the Bears. I'm gonna go risk uh my entire house and see what happens. That's a healthy play, I think. But so far it worked out. He's like, yeah, good luck with that 100. I think it's coming down. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. Everybody does. I don't trust them. Coinbase got a little bit of a bounce in here too. You got resistance a little bit higher, 235.65. Otherwise, still inside day on this one. Not really great risk to reward to the higher side yet. You actually have better risk to the downside, but I don't think I'd be playing it bearish. Probably buy the dips. See if we get rejected at 235.45. See if we come back and then probably buy that dip. If it comes in, Dell, DELL, looks kind of fantastic. Yep. Resistance on this one, 118. I got to put this one up higher too. Actually, you might have snuck in one of my favorite gaps today. But yeah, Dell would be there. Again, a good high wave candle would be terrific. We are about to have that morning opening bell. So everybody on YouTube land, I appreciate you joining us each and every day. Make sure, if you guys have not done so, hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're new here, we do this every day, 9 a.m. to 9:30 Eastern. It's all my time. I'm very selfish, my time. But you guys are awesome. I will catch you guys later.